Okay, boys, let's discuss these questions. Figure 5.1 shows a capillary inside a tissue. Now, boys, you guys can say that this is the capillary, right? This over here. And you guys know I have taught you that the capillaries, they are made up of just one cell thick layer, and their lumen is so much narrow that the red blood cells can only move in single line as a queue, right? So you guys can see that. Now, who will tell me what is this structure, this one? Can you tell me what is this structure, this one?
Like a limb.
No, structure, lymph is not a structure.
So lymph nodes.
No,
So the lymphatic systems,
it
vessels.
is part of lymphatic system, but what we will call it?
So lymphatic vessels.
No, not the vessel.
So
Lymph
lymphatic capillary.
capillary. Very good. It is the lymphatic capillary. Now, what was the scientific name of lymphatic capillary? Who will tell me? Yes, boys. What is the scientific name of lymphatic capillary? It is lacteal. Do you guys remember? We learned about the lacteal in which chapter? Digestive
So
system,
did I?
right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, boys, all these things are mentioned over here. So, this is the tissue layer, cell in a tissue. So, this over here is tissue fluid. This is T, and then this is P, right? Everything. Now, let's see what is the question. State how oxygen passes from the capillary into cell Q and describe the function of this gas in a cell. Now, how the oxygen will pass from the capillary into Q, and what is the job of Q of the oxygen in the cell? Yes, boys, who will tell? It is very easy question. How the oxygen?
So the red blood cells carry the oxygen.
No, the question is how the oxygen is transferred from
Diffusion.
blood into Q.
Diffusion. So
Very good answer. It travels by diffusion, right? And what is the job of the oxygen in the cells of the tissue Q?
Set for respiration.
so for respiration, breakdown of
Very good,
energy.
very good, very good. Breakdown of glucose to produce energy, right? The next question. Name two substances required by cells other than oxygen that pass from the blood to the tissue fluid at R. Now he is saying they move from the blood to the tissue fluid other than oxygen. Yes, boys.
Sir, can you go back to the diagram?
Yes. Two molecules or two substances other than oxygen that go from the blood to the tissue fluid,
Sir,
which are
hormones.
required by the cells. Yes, one you can say hormone. Anything else?
Sir, proteins.
Very good. Not the proteins, amino acids.
Yes,
Why
amino acids.
why not the proteins? Because
Sir,
proteins, right?
chain amino acids.
Yes, right. You can answer glucose as well. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next question. Now, boys, look here. Let me tell you. He said 2 points, but there is 1 mark. So remember one thing. You have to get 1 mark. You see, you have to answer both correct points, then get 1 mark. If you will write one correct, one wrong, then you will get 0 marks. Got it? Because in IGCSE system, you either get a mark or you do not get a mark. All right? Next question. Name 2 substances produced by cells that pass from the tissue fluid to the blood at S. Means that the molecules that are produced by the cells and from the tissue fluid they go into the blood.
Sir, carbon dioxide.
Very good. And
Sir, metabolic waste.
which metabolic waste?
Sir, from breaking down of glucose.
So what other than carbon dioxide, what other thing is produced by the breaking down of glucose?
Sir, energy.
No, energy is not a waste, and it's not a energy is not a substance. Water is produced,
Yes, sir.
right? Water is produced or not? We learned when the glucose breaks down by joining with the oxygen, then carbon dioxide and water is produced. All right.
Yes, sir.
And you can write urea as well, right? Urea is a metabolic waste. All right. Now, next question. With the reference to figure 5.1, you can also write lactic acid as well. Lactic acid is also a metabolic waste. All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, with reference to figure 5.1, describe and explain 2 ways in which capillaries are adapted to their function. How capillaries are adapted for their function,
Sir,
boys?
sir, because of them being their walls being one cell thick, it
Very good
helps in easy
answer.
diffusion.
Very good. And second point,
And sir, they only have one cell space in them.
no, this is the same point as the first one. Next point, that there are gaps in between the cells through which the blood plasma leaks out, right, to form the tissue fluid, and that tissue fluid then helps in transfer of, you see, exchange of materials between cells and the blood. All right.
Oh, yes, sir.
Next question. Tissue fluid drains into vessel P at T and eventually returns to the blood. Name the type of vessel labeled P. We discussed what is the name of this vessel labeled P.
Sir, lymphatic capillaries.
Very good. Lymphatic capillary, lymph capillary, or what is the scientific name we have learned?
Sir, lacteal.
Very good. Lacteal. Explain how fluid passes along these vessels. How the fluid travels in the lacteals. Anyone, boys? Now, boys, listen, I have taught you this thing before, that this, you see these lymph vessels, they have,
Circle blood plasma.
no, how it travels. Like you see in the circulatory system, heart is pumping, but there is no pump attached to the lymphatic system, right? So how the lymph travels in the lymphatic system? Can anyone tell? Now, let me tell, boys, I have taught you this thing before as well, and I told you guys that you see you can watch the videos, lectures from the YouTube as well. From you see, I have told you from where to find my lectures. When the muscles contract, when the muscles contract, they press these vessels and the lymph moves forward. And remember one more thing, that in the lymphatic vessels, there are valves present. There are semilunar valves and they prevent the backflow of the lymph. Understand? Remember, boys, that the lymph vessels and the veins, they have exactly the same structure. All right, boys?
Okay, sir.
All right. Next question. The lymphatic system consists of one, thin-walled lymph vessels that drain tissue fluid from many organs of the body. Then lymph nodes that contain the cells of the immune system. The fluid in the lymph vessels is moved in a way similar to the movement of blood in veins. I just explained you, right? That even in the veins, the blood moves upward from the legs when the legs muscles they contract, right? And I just told you that the veins and legs both have what? Both of them have the valves in them to prevent the backflow. Okay. The fluid in the lymph vessels is moved in a way similar to the movement of blood in veins. Figure 4.1 shows part of the lymphatic system. You guys can see that, you see these are the lymph vessels from the legs. These are the lymph vessels from the digestive system joined together. This is the lymph vessel and it is pouring the lymph from the, you see this lower body and the upper body into this blood vessel. Now I have taught you boys that this blood vessel is subclavian vein, right? I have explained you this all. Now question A is just how lymph is moved in the lymph vessels. I just answered it a few minutes ago. Who will answer this question, boys? Yes, boys. Who will answer the question? Yes, boys, anyone? Okay, listen again, boys. What did I tell you guys? That when the muscles of the body they contract and they press the lymph vessels, and when the lymph vessels they are pressed, they press or they push the lymph forward, and the valves present or the semilunar valves present in the lymph vessels, they prevent the backflow of the lymph. Got it, boys? Understood, boys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, boys, next question. After a meal rich in fatty foods, the lymph leaving the ileum is full of fat droplets. Explain why there are fat droplets in the lymph leaving the ileum. Now, boys, if you guys remember the digestive system in the absorption topic, what did we learn? That glucose in the, you see, in the ileum, you see there are what? There are finger-like projections which are called as villi, and in the villi there are blood capillaries and there are lacteals as well. Do you guys remember this or not? Do you guys remember? Let me remind you guys. This is what? This is a villus, right? Now what we have learned that in the villus there are,
So capillaries.
these are the blood capillaries, right? And then there are lymph vessels as well. Now let's suppose that this is lymph lacteal, right? So what did we learn? That the glucose, first it goes into the epithelium, then from epithelium it goes where? Into the blood capillaries. Same, the amino acids, first they go into the epithelium and from epithelium they go where? Into the blood capillaries, right? But this fatty acids and glycerol, they first enter into the epithelium and from epithelium they go where? Into the lacteal. Same, glycerol first enter into the epithelium, from epithelium it goes where? Into the lacteal. So as in the ileum, the fatty acids and glycerols, they are absorbed only in the lacteals. So that is why the lymph vessels leaving the ileum are high with droplets of fats. Did you guys understand the answer, boys?
Yes, sir.
All right, boys. So remember that as the fatty acids and glycerols, they are absorbed into the lacteals. So the lymph vessels leaving the ileum will be high in fat droplets. Next question. Lymph flows through lymph nodes. Figure 4.2 shows the action of white blood cells in a lymph node when bacteria are present. Now, boys, these are bacteria. You guys can see that these are bacteria. These are the antibodies produced, and these are the, you see, this engulfing is taking place. Now, boys, I have told you many times how to differentiate between a lymphocyte and a phagocyte. What is a feature that you will see for the difference between a lymphocyte and a phagocyte? Who will tell me, boys?
Sir, a
The
phagocyte.
lymphocyte produce antibodies to kill.
No, can you see lymphocytes producing antibodies?
Sir,
Answer is no.
phagocyte has a lobed nucleus.
Very good answer. This is what I was looking for. Boys, remember one thing, that the phagocytes, they have a lobed nucleus, while the lymphocytes, they have a normal shaped nucleus, but a larger nucleus. But the nucleus is normal shaped. Understood, everyone? So look here, boys. These cells, these ones, they have the normal shaped nucleus, right? While look here, this one is a lobe shaped nucleus. Got it, boys?
Yes, sir.
Now name the type of nuclear division shown at P in figure 4.2. Now this question is not in your syllabus, but this is called mitosis. You will learn about this inshallah in grade 9 second term. Now name the molecules labeled Q in figure 4.2. Yes, boys, what are these Q?
Antigens.
Antibodies.
Antibodies. Sorry. They
Antibodies,
stick to
right?
antigens.
Yes. Now remember one thing, I taught you guys that antibodies are always Y-shaped. Antibodies are always Y-shaped, right? So they have shown these are Y-shaped and they are sticking to the bacteria on the antigens. Now, next one, describe how bacteria are destroyed by the cell R. Now, first of all, that this cell R is what? It's a phagocyte. What you will tell that cell R is a phagocyte. So what does it do? It
So they are
engulfs,
engulfed.
very good, right? It engulfs the pathogens or bacteria. And then what you will tell next, that it then digests or destroys them by digesting them by using the digestive enzymes. All right, boys? It destroys the bacteria or pathogens by using the digestive enzymes. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Next question. Antibiotics are used to treat bacterial infections. Now, guys, about the drugs, you see this will come in the grade 9, inshallah, about the drugs. Antibiotics, this is related to drugs. This is also related to grade 9. Yeah, this is question is also related to grade 9. What is the name of the organ X, boys? What is the name of this organ? It is intestine. What is it? Intestine. And what is the name of the blood vessel Y? Hepatic portal vein. All right, boys. Okay, boys, we'll continue from here, inshallah, in the next class. See you guys, inshallah, in next class. Take care and Allah Hafiz.
I love this.
Allah Hafiz.